Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tynan Marais. I'm a PhD candidate at UCT at the Center for Bioprocess Research Engineering Group, of which the focus of my research is looking at the bioremediation of acid rock drainage.
In this presentation, I will be giving an overview of the development of a novel wastewater treatment process capable of simultaneous biological sulphate reduction and partial sulphate oxidation for remediating acid rock drainage with a value recovery of elemental sulfur. Currently, one of the biggest challenges facing the mining industry is the management and treatment of mine-impacted water during active and post-mining operations. While conventional treatment often include active chemical treatment with a major focus on targeting neutralization and metal removal, little consideration has been placed on sulphate concentration. In South Africa, the coal mining industry represents a unique landscape distributed over a large area. The persistent low-volume ARD generated from diffuse sources is estimated to have a far greater impact on the environment and surrounding communities if left unchecked. The nature and geographic distribution of these sources over a large area make current active treatment options not applicable, while traditional passive treatments are ineffective. As a result, there has been a need for the development of a sustainable, low-cost solution that is capable of effectively addressing this low-flow ARD discharge. A promising application for achieving sustainability has been the use of biological sulphate reduction. This process relies on the activity of a specialized group of microorganisms known as sulphate-reducing bacteria. Under anoxic conditions, in the presence of a suitable electron donor, sulphate is reduced to hydrogen sulphide with the generation of bicarbonate. The generated sulphide can be co-precipitated with heavy metals and recovered as metal sulphides. Ideally, the process is capable of addressing all three toxicological characteristics of ARD, reducing sulphate and heavy metal concentrations, as well as increasing the pH with minimal sludge production. However, in some cases where there is low heavy metal concentration and sulphate reduction is effective, an additional management of the excess sulphide is required. If left untreated, the sulphide can easily oxidize back to sulphate. A promising strategy to manage the excess sulphide is through partial sulphate oxidation to elemental sulfur. This is performed by a different group of microorganisms known as sulfur-oxidizing bacteria that partially oxidize sulphide to elemental sulfur under oxygen-limiting conditions. The potential to recover sulfur as a value product is highly attractive and can be used in agriculture as well as the chemical industry. The process is often carried out within an active bioreactor under precise operating conditions. In order to facilitate elemental sulfur generation, the process requires continuous supply of oxygen, which is not economically feasible. The application of the process for treating ARD has been largely constrained by the high energy and maintenance requirement. The discovery and potential application of floating sulfur bioforms has provided an alternative approach to achieving sulfur oxidation under passive conditions, making it feasible for treating ARD. These bioforms were observed naturally forming on the surface of sulphide-rich ternary waste streams. In the current work, the integration of biological sulphate reduction and sulfur oxidation applying floating sulfur bioforms within a single linear flow channel reactor unit was investigated. In order to integrate both biological processes, a linear flow channel reactor was modified with key features to ensure the desired outcome. This included the harvesting screen positioned just below the air-liquid interface to facilitate the intermittent recovery and separation of the elemental sulfur product, a heating coil to evaluate different operating temperatures, sampling ports to evaluate process performance, as well as the addition of carbon microfibers as a support material for biomass retention. During the initial demonstration of the hybrid linear flow channel reactor, feeding a synthetic feed, discrete microenvironments are established. This includes the anaerobic zone within the bulk volume of the reactor, where biological sulphate reduction occurs, and the aerobic zone at the air-liquid interface, which facilitates the partial oxidation of sulphide. The high sulphide generated in the bulk volume of the reactor and the oxygen from the surrounding atmosphere creates the perfect redox microenvironment at the air-liquid interface for partial sulphur oxidation, which results in the formation of the floating sulfur bioform and deposit of elemental sulfur. The active microbial communities are distinctly different and work in synergy of one another. The final effluent is characterized by low sulfate concentration, effective management of the generated sulphide, and recovery of elemental sulfur and increase in the final pH. In conclusion, research to date has successfully demonstrated the integration of simultaneous biological sulphate reduction and partial sulfur oxidation with effective elemental sulfur recovery. The process offers a potentially low-cost semi-passive solution that can be applied to effectively treat low-volume ARD in remote areas requiring minimal energy, infrastructure, and maintenance. The value-added recovery of elemental sulfur as well as the final treated effluent can be applied within agriculture and will ultimately contribute to sustainable mining as well as development of a circular economy. I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supervisors as well as the following organizations as well as SMI for giving me the opportunity to present my work.